Alright guys, welcome to another tier ranking. Everybody seems to like these and so do I. So today I want to do Dynasty Warriors Empire series. Now, if you haven't watched my tier ranking for just the regular Dynasty Warriors main series, you probably should watch that first, because I cover all 9 games in there, or all 9 main ones before Origins. But now this is going to be the Empire series, which is basically a spin-off series that focuses more on the overall running your troops, where you use your resources, a little bit more strategy put into their games. And today I'm going to talk about Dynasty Warriors Empires 4, which is the first one I ever created, all the way up to 9. And I'm going to be a little bit honest, I haven't played a lot of these in years and years and years. I recall most of the things, but I might say the wrong thing, and that's my bad. But I really want to focus on these games and why they might be interesting enough to pick up outside of the main series. So I say let's just jump right into it. So I really do want to start off with Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires because it's the first of this series. And being the first, it's the first of its kind. So when I was young and I played this game, I thought it was really cool that you actually, like, all the resources to getting the money to do these long missions, you would then put into your army and kind of create your own empire. That was a really cool idea. So I really loved this kind of idea. It was the first of its kind at the time, and it was very, very fun. The idea of just having your own army and fighting with you instead of kind of being useless most of these other mainline games with your army not doing much. It was nice to see them actually have some input in the battle, and it almost felt like you were taking over a world, like you were playing a war game, going through these different areas and beating the bad guy and then taking their land. So I thought all that was really cool. Saying that, of course, it lacked the polish of later games because it was the first of its kind. So it felt very bare bones. Even at the time that I was playing this, I think I stopped around 25-30 hours because I kind of got my full. There was no story to be had. It was just taking over pieces of land, which I will say most of these are like that, but later on you could create scenarios, whereas this game not really much. Also, this game can be extremely easy or extremely hard. It was very weird how it didn't have it in between. So a lot of the game for me was very easy, and then there were moments that were just frustratingly hard. So just weird. I don't know why there was no balance. Usually Dynasty Warriors is pretty easy overall, but this game, for some reason, in my mind, I remember getting more frustrated more than any of the other mainline games at the time. So where do I put this? I think that it was a great addition. I'm going to be honest, only because it was the first of its kind. It was so different than the other Dynasty Warriors games. I'm going to have to put it in great addition because it created a spin-off series that, for the most part, I always find somewhat enjoyable, even if some flounder and some are not too good. Alright, so Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires. Now, Dynasty Warriors 5 is peak Dynasty Warriors. Go watch my main video and you'll know that I absolutely love this fucking game. And so taking the core gameplay of Dynasty Warriors 5, the combat and everything, at the time, this was one of my favorite games. On top of that, you get the nice upgrade with it being the first next-gen console version. So this was a 360 title, but originally a PS2. The 360 didn't, like, blow me away, but what was cool is that it ran better, smoother, and you can have less slowdown. So all of that made this game much more enjoyable overall. And I will say one of the things I really liked is that it felt like a nice upgrade from 4. So it added a lot more options, a little bit more in depth with making your empire, where you would make decisions and take over areas and what you would do. So all of that felt like an upgrade from 4, which was just like the basic, you know, core gameplay of Empires. 5 enhanced it. So I really enjoyed 5. But I will say, 4 had this problem where it was way too easy or way too hard. 5, I remember this being a cakewalk the whole game. Now, I could be wrong. I could be recalling it wrong. But checking out my achievements and everything, I beat this game and didn't seem to have much trouble. And I don't recall ever getting frustrated, which is nice. But at the same time, this was so overly easy that I can't remember presenting a challenge that made it memorable for me. So I will say that is kind of sad. And of course, this game, again, didn't really present much of a story. It did a little bit more than 4, but I have to say the later games definitely added more of a story flair, especially when starting with, I think, around 7. But overall, it was still a really fun game. If you like the Empire's idea of management, of managing your empire, this game is better than 4 in that respect, and it is my favorite, one of my favorite gameplays in fighting of the series. So in that, it is a great addition, and I think it's better than 4. So where 4 is a great addition to the overall series, but on the lower end. This is on the higher end of great addition. Alright, so Dynasty Warriors 6 Empire. So if you've seen my ranking of the Dynasty Warriors main series, you will know factually I fucking hate Dynasty Warriors 6 for the most part. It is one of the most disappointing games of my life because as a huge fan of the series, I'm spending hundreds of hours in the mainline games with my friend Alex. We just played this for hours and hours, so we were very excited for 6. And 6 was, well, it was cockapoo shit. Cockapoo shit. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's cock and poo and shit all together. And you're asking, well, isn't poo and shit the same? Not if it's bird shit, and not if it's human shit. Then it's both together. It's nasty. So saying that, Dynasty Warriors 6 decided to make an Empires game because they all have to. I mean, you know, money. And I will say that I overall like this game more than the base game, obviously, or the regular mainline game. One, I think just the mass amount of content added here and the Empire feel of taking over places definitely enhanced the original game and made it more enjoyable. And I also think it's a very pretty game. I will say Dynasty Warriors 6, even in the mainline games, is absolutely a gorgeous game in comparison to 1 to 5 because it was the first next-gen title. It is actually, to me, the biggest leap since maybe Origins. I haven't played it yet. I'm about to play it today, which is a nice thing to see. But there's two major things that fucked up in this game, is that the core gameplay of Dynasty Warriors 6 sucks fucking balls. Now, in my review or ranking, people mentioned that they actually really enjoyed Dynasty Warriors 6, and that's great. So I'm not trying to act like nobody can enjoy Dynasty Warriors 6, but for me, the core gameplay of Dynasty Warriors 6 was absolutely trash, and so the core gameplay of Empires is still not that good. Now, the taking over stuff and using your management and resources to create a cool empire and the beautiful graphics and the army of the size and everything is awesome, but the actual fucking combat still sucks. So this isn't that good. This is probably one of the weakest titles for me. I'm going to put in lots of issues, mostly because while it's pretty and better than the mainline game, it's still not good, but it is at least better than the mainline game, which sucks absolute big ballies. Okay, so we're getting into Dynasty Warriors 7, and Dynasty Warriors 7's mainline game was such a drastic improvement for me over 6 that I really was kind of blown away. It still had issues for me, and again, you could watch my ranking video to get that. But let's talk about Empire. So, a huge jump in quality from 6 automatically makes this a much better game for me. One thing I really like was some really good customization in characters. I absolutely love when you can kind of craft your character, change designs, add moves, things like that. Always a big plus for me. There's way more in-depth strategy in this game, managing your empire. Overall feels kind of like Total War Light. Sometimes a little too much. Some people got a little overwhelmed, and I can understand that. But for me, I really love those things. I was really invested on making decisions and all that stuff. So the management and the Empire side of it was the best so far in the series for me. The combat is not my favorite in the series, but it's a much better combat than 6, so that really kept it fresh, and you had the option to play as like a lord or a commander. All of this just made this game much more enjoyable than I thought it would be. It is actually, up until this point, one of my favorite Empire games, if I'm going to be honest. Where would I put it, though? What's the negatives? Well, I have to say halfway through it became very, very, very easy, which is kind of just a common theme with, I guess, all these Dynasty Warriors games. But it really became prevalent here because at that time, halfway through, I was like, I could just wash these motherfucking armies, no problem. So it lost the funness of taking over places because I knew I would win. And again, the combat isn't my favorite because I think the combat is better in the next title, which we'll talk about. But overall, this is such a leap in quality. It has to be up there. Is it better than 5? It's really a hard decision because 5 I obviously played a lot more. I was younger and I couldn't stop playing it. But at the same time, I think it is one of the better Empire games. It is truly much better than I thought. And, you know, I'm going to go with a great addition. It's really close to being the best of the best. But let me talk about the best of the best. So I'm a huge fan of the base gameplay in Dynasty Warriors 8. It's not perfect, but it is the closest thing to the old ones, but obviously modernized. So for that, the core gameplay, the combat of these games is the best in Dynasty Warriors 8, and it's the best in Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. So that's that. That makes it the first great thing about this game. On top of that, the biggest thing is that I think it's the fastest one to jump in and out. You can do a couple of missions and then jump out. It is the quickest in terms of the overall maps and stuff. stuff. Some people don't like that, some do. I personally did. And I thought it was one of those games. One thing I liked about this game, it presented some challenging moments, but it's kind of that game where it's easy to learn and hard to master. This probably has the most management stuff to do, the resources, making decisions, how to run your army, things like that. So there is a lot. So some people felt this was too much, but I personally enjoy it. I'd say the biggest thing missing for this game for me versus 7 was the customization. I thought 7 had a lot more customization, and I also like the overall presentation of 7 a little bit more, but 8 is definitely, as a quality game, as the one I played the most in the later years. So after 5, 8 is going to be my highest. So I'm gonna have to be honest, just like the main line, it's one of my favorite games in the series. While not the best in the mainline series, it is my favorite Empires game. It's the one that I actually put the most hours in after 5, and I think it definitely is still playable and fun to play till this day if you like Empire style games. Now, Dynasty Warriors 9, I have a lot of issues with. It felt like a drastic step back for me. It wasn't the worst game in the series, but it was definitely the most, like, polarizing game in the series. Because I'm like, why did you do this, Koei? Why did you take a step back? And Empires aim to fix some of that. I will say the customization in this game is the best. It's even better than 7. I think it's the best in the series in terms of create a character and create an empire and all the different options and designs and all of that. All of that was really good. That is the best part of the game for me. I was actually really impressed with that. And I think that the base gameplay is better in this game than the main line. I'm going to be honest. I think the Empire system is better. I think all of that is obviously enhances it. I think just the overall combat, I don't know if much changed, but it feels better in this game. So that's nice. But even though it's better, it's still not great. I don't know. I don't know if I am, like, technically going in depth of the combat and that 9 has more options or whatever, but I just feel like 7 and 8's combat system is more fun to play. I don't know what about 9's combat system doesn't fully click with me. So, yes, I do think it's better than the mainline game, but it still has those issues that I had with the mainline game, which is kind of annoying. And I felt like, at least with 7 and 8, 7 becomes way too easy about halfway through, and 8 it's a pretty good challenge all the way through. 9, after like 2 or 3 hours, I was absolutely washing everybody that was, I don't know if that's the correct lingo. I'm too old for this shit, but I was absolutely destroying the rest of these camps and these army, and I was just wiping them. It was too easy. Way too easy that I actually got bored of this game within 10 hours. Similar to 6, but I think it's better than 6. So I'm just going to put this in just solid. I think that it's, you know, okay, it's not bad. If you want to pick it up and you find it for 20 bucks, it's not the worst, you know, 10, 15, or if you really love it, 20, 30, 40 hour game. But honestly, if you have an option to pick up 7 or 8, I think they're much better games. I actually think if you're going to go modernize, just pick up 8. I think it's the best one, or 7. People kind of debate which one's better. 7 offers more customization. I don't think either one is bad. I think you can enjoy either one, but definitely to me, 8 is the best of the series. Alright, and that wraps up my list for the Dynasty Warriors Empire series. Now, obviously this series isn't as influential or as big as the mainline series, but I think it's important in a lot of ways because someone like me who loves the strategy elements of games, this series gave me, it scratched my little itchy witch, you know what I'm saying? A little, ah! Is that the sound you make when you get itched? I don't know. That's the sound I make. But I will say that I'm really interested how Origins is going to handle this because Origins already feels like it's in the strategy element. So are we going to have an Empires game or Origins is going to be the complete package? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. But yeah, I would love to see your ranking. Of course, these are my opinions. This is a lot of just what I enjoyed playing. Technically wise, some of these games are probably better than others. I don't know. But this is my ranking. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. If you loved it, hit that fucking subscribe button because that makes me go, ooh la la. And if you love me, well, I already said hit the subscribe button, but if you love me, comment below. I like comments. I like interacting with you guys. Anyway, everybody enjoy this video. I hope you pick up Origins. I hope it's good. I'm still waiting for my fucking Steam key. I don't know where the fuck it is from this website, but hopefully it comes soon so I can try it out. And I hope you guys have a fabulous 2025. This is actually my first video of 2025, and I'm very excited. I have a Trails video coming out for the entire series ranking, so look forward to that. And I have a comic book video I want to make really soon that I'm really interested in talking about the absolute great series from DC. Is it good? Is it worth picking up? Or is it a motherfucking disgrace to the DC line? Well, you're going to have to watch my video to find out. Everybody have a good day, and go enjoy some motherfucking video games.